stand, cause we are the Tech Shaman. Dude, I got this cool thing to show you. Really, man? Yeah, it's far out and technical and stuff. Oh, so, yeah. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Cool.
Hey everybody, good morning. I know it's a lot of energy for Monday morning.
Monday.
I
Okay,
like-
we're done.
I like mornings though.
I'm
I'm a morning guy. Everybody hates me.
in morning
You okay? Why are you morning?
because I'm with you.
Oh, well, that would do it for me.
There you have it.
Anyway, so
Low hanging fruit. Sorry, folks.
low-hanging fruit. Anyway, so yeah, it's been last week was a crazy week. So much stuff
Tell me about
happened, and it's like I was going through this weekend trying to put the show together. Go, what are we going to talk about? What are we going to talk about? What are we going to talk about?
Yep.
And I'm thinking
Tech?
Well, yeah, and you know what? I
Nailed
have
it.
not talked. I have not spoken about video stuff in a while,
True.
and so I'm going to
Yeah.
come out right out of the gate. Now,
With this new camera.
well, here's the thing. The lenses for this have been around because Zeiss has a full frame compact camera finally available to pre-order for only $6,000.
Yeah.
Only. Keep up that image just a second.
I'm just like, huh? I just don't really understand, what the value is in a compact camera, to be able to do that stuff. Because, for a quarter that price or half that price, you can get a full-size camera. And if that's the kind of stuff you need, then you're probably tying it down on a tripod, and you're actually going to have it running, like a regular full-sized camera. So
Yeah,
I do not get the value on this.
Well, okay, so I think what happened is Zeiss finally said, enough's enough. We're going to make our own camera. Because Zeiss lenses are in everything, including iPhones.
Yep.
So I think they just said, enough's enough, we'll do our own thing. But the problem is this goes back to the very issue I always keep saying. There, all these people buy these DSLR cameras, or they buy these, even though it's $6,000. There's no way that is going to give you depth for television.
Nope.
Okay, because you understand what I'm saying, right? Adam, okay, so typically, you'll hear a lot of hear of us old camera guys.
Yep.
Well, it's either got to be 1/2 inch or 3/4 or even 1 inch glass. And then everybody's like, huh? I said, yeah, because that aperture is open. It gives you the depth, the true color, the whole 9 yards. And when they started going to sensors and chips, then we started going, well, it's only a single chip, so it's probably 1/4 inch, and it's good for making stuff for not television.
Yeah, for YouTube.
YouTube, blah, 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 because you kind of want to know the. But the minute you take, I'm telling you, the minute you take a 1-chip camera versus a 3-chip camera and you put that on television,
Oh my God.
it is a massive world of
Absolutely.
difference.
Yep.
And so these little cameras like this, they're only single chips at best. So to me, it's. But, Zeiss, again, back to Zeiss. Zeiss is like, it's time for us to make our own thing, blah, blah, blah. So they started making.
So they announced it 2 years ago they were going to do it.
Yeah, but.
And then it just sat.
Because back then, 2 years ago, people weren't ready for the little compact. People started getting into it.
Yeah.
Like the DSLRs. I mean,
Yeah.
I have a DSLR, that Nikon. I have a Nikon, silly, right over on the shelf over there that I bought strictly for taking pictures. Not that I needed it, but I had to have a standalone still because what we cheat. What we do is we roll video and then we'll pull a frame out.
Exactly.
There's your video. There's your picture, right?
Exactly.
But you didn't get the depth that you should have been getting with a true prime lensed camera.
Right. Yeah.
So, but that camera, people will look at it and go, oh, what kind of videos does it shoot? It doesn't shoot video.
John, I'm going to ask you to stop for a second and tell me what you mean by depth. Can you explain it?
Oh, okay. All right. So you get you get composition, right? So you get color depth. In other words, like this Baby Yoda that's sitting in front of me, it is an olive green, right? Well, on a depth camera, like with 3 chips, 1/2 inch or 1 inch glass, you're going to see the pure color. With a 1/4 inch, 1 chip, it'll get it, but it'll be kind of washed.
It'll all be one color.
Well, yeah, but it'll be washed. Growing up as a printer's kid, I look at colors and I go, and I drive my wife insane. I'm like, that's dirty. And she'll go, what do you mean it's dirty? I said, I'll look at a blue. I'm like, that's dirty. There's black. There's too much black in it.
Right.
And so in our world, we're RGB, right? We're not CMYK.
Right.
So RGB, red, green, blue. And so you have to have that depth of color to pull out the nuances of the colors themselves. I can shoot this with 4 different cameras, and I can go down from a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch with a single chip to 3 chip, and that green will not be the same color in every
different
single
in every one.
camera.
And I think also it's like, well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what you're saying is like, when you have the 8-pack of Crayola crayons, all greens are the same green. But when you have the 128 box,
yes,
you've got every different green under the sun, from seafoam green and,
right.
You've got a million different greens you can play with in there. And with a single chip at a 1/4 inch and thin glass, you simply, you don't have the processing power to pick out the many different shades in this, this waistcoat or Baby Yoda's head
and you
or whatever.
also don't have the ability to get that. Okay, I love it when the new iPhones came, not these, but the phones came out. You used to get, you now get a thing called portrait.
Yes, the portrait.
Right.
Yep.
So you have depth, right? So your image up front is in focus, but everything in the back is
slightly
out of focus, right? Mm-hmm. You can't do that with a 1/4 inch single chip, and you can kind of, because things will just be, normally out of focus, but you don't get the depth in it. If you're shooting like this nice little cool shot right here, like it's close up, and I want all of that out of focus, but I want it still colored, a little deep color.
Yeah.
You get that.
Yes.
You can't get that with a crappy single chip, 1/4 inch, 3rd chip.
No, and the smallest iPhone you can get that in is the SE now.
Yes.
Actually allows that, and it's relatively inexpensive, but that's because they put all the tech into the camera, and you still have the push button on the front. You can't. It's not great for video. Mm-hmm. That thing was like made to shoot portraits, and that's about it.
Yeah.
And it does a brilliant job. It's made for your Instagrammers. It's made for those people who really have to have a gorgeous product shot.
Yep.
That's what it's designed for.
Yeah, I used to make, we used to do a lot of work with TV1 out of Burbank. A Florida company did a ton of work with this guy out in California. Says he was one of the first infomercial guys, and the first thing that he did when we were shooting products, he brought in a Hasselblad camera. Me and Rob are actually talking about this morning. Actually, Hasselblad is actually going to go to. They're actually making a film camera too as well.
All right.
But back in the day, that was, in my opinion, was one of those kind of cameras that I could just never afford in my life.
Right.
Because they were just that good and that expensive.
Yep.
But he had a guy came in and did our product shots for our infomercials that shot on that, and it's when it folds out. It's got the old rippled, the old.
Yep.
Oh, dude, they still use them today.
The accordions, yeah.
They still use
because it gives you a huge lens that you can shoot with.
Massive, and then of course they're all mirrorless. They've always been mirrorless.
Right. Yeah.
So everything is just pure depth, and our shots. People would look at our pictures compared to what they had gotten before. They're like, "Well, how did you do that?" I'm like, "We used the right camera."
Exactly.
So cameras make a big deal. So anyway, back to Zeiss. So Zeiss came out with this, and it's finally on the market. I wouldn't pay $6,000.
Almost on the market.
I'm going to pay
Somebody's
$6,000,
taking pre-orders now.
I'm going to go get myself an Ursa from Blackmagic.
Yeah.
Or I'll just save a little bit more and get a red.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah,
I don't like
Reds are about 10 grand
Reds
now.
are nothing.
10, 12,000.
Yeah, but Reds
Yeah.
are just nothing but souped up Sonys.
Yeah.
That's really all they are. Everybody comes in and goes, "Wow, you still use those older cameras?" I was like, "I have Cine Alta EX series,
Yeah.
and they're 1080." Some of the best you'll ever, and they're half-inch glass. They're 3-chip.
Yep. I shot video on Friday on my old Sanyo Zacti, which is a 1080.
Yeah.
Okay. And I mean, the sound, the video, everything on it, the thing is 10 years old.
Right.
And it still shoots incredibly well. And it's great because, actually, it's kind of great because it's actually a pistol grip. And so I've had to build, just accoutrements around it, like my, I had to build a teleprompter for it.
Oh,
because
did you really?
because teleprompters you buy are made for DSLRs, and this thing is a pistol grip.
Right.
And so the lenses, it doesn't match up. It doesn't do any of that.
Does that have the old metal silver lenses?
No.
No.
No. It has a silver ring on the end, but you can't change the lens.
Oh, it's
Okay.
fixed
No,
lens?
it is a pistol grip with a pop-out, viewer. But the fact of the matter is, it was made insanely well.
Yeah.
10 years ago, and like your cameras here, which I mean, there's no way to tell these aren't brand new because they were made such high quality. And Adam, you can talk about this with Apple.
Yeah.
Okay? Because as long as you can continue to upgrade, it almost doesn't matter how old your Mac is until it gets to be about 10 to 12 years old.
Yeah, it's just
And they still run, but
it's just the amount of new software. What it can do, but
exactly.
Right.
It just
But when
can't
it comes
handle the
to a
software
camera,
anymore.
I mean,
Yeah, lens is a lens.
Yeah.
Okay, and your chips are your chips. And as long as your chips are good, your lens is good, your light source is good, you're going to get a good shot.
yeah,
But
they're
you
just-
got to
it's just
buy
gonna
good
be-
at the beginning. I don't know about 6,000 good on something like this on a pre-order from a random company that isn't actually Zeiss. That's a little sketchy. I mean, maybe somebody needs Christmas money, and so I'm going to go out and I'm going to start taking pre-orders on these as well. And boy, are people going to be ticked when Zeiss announced they're only 3,000.
Right.
But I collected your 6,000 up front. Sucker.
Well, and it's one of those. It's just one of those things where
Yeah.
they're carrying off the name of the company,
Yeah.
which is fine. I get it.
Yeah.
I totally get it.
Mm-hmm.
But
No, I'm wondering if this isn't actually a test marketing. Okay, not by Zeiss directly, but they put it out there to see. Let's see if the 6,000 price is too much.
if someone wants to,
Okay, and if everybody complains about it being ridiculous, or we announce it at 6,000, and it actually comes out at
That's
4,800.
it's
Ooh, we're going to look like we listened and we care and we're smart.
Right.
Whereas if we came out at 4,800, everybody would have the same complaints they do at 6,000.
Yeah.
Now, if they came out with an announcement saying, "Hey, look, we're not going to sell anybody lenses anymore," I might consider buying one.
Okay, yeah, because it would be the last of its kind,
Right.
maybe,
Yeah, 'cause-
or until they come up with the next version of it, which is only half the price.
Right.
So yeah, this to me is a wait and watch. Not
Yeah.
oh my god, I can't wait to jump in and maybe because
yeah.
they're still only doing pre-orders.
Right. Exactly.
So, yeah.
you can't even get one.
No,
So,
not yet.
To me,
Hell, we don't
it's- even
know if they exist. We're seeing demo photos.
They're
Right.
a magical unicorn.
the magical unicorn.
I actually sold my unicorn.
The ZX1 is on their website.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it for sale on their website?
Coming soon.
That's funny. Coming soon.
Coming soon.
I don't know. Rob's going to show us.
Yep.
So we're going to move on because
Yep.
we can only talk about
Find a dealer.
right.
But we did.
So this is something that's kind of in your world,
Yep.
there, boss man. Ad
Yeah.
tech could be the next internet bubble.
Yep. There's so much going on right now. This combines with two other things we're talking about today.
I think
And,
I think we're just going to stay on these next two
Yeah.
things.
Because there's some crazy stuff going on right now. Google has basically gone full evil. And if you look at what they are doing, when you are on your your desktop, and you have a commonly used search term phrase, something like, looking for, personal injury attorney near me, something like that, they have reformatted their homepage. Oh, we haven't changed our search results. We've just, our algorithm hasn't changed at all. We reformatted the homepage, so everything above the fold is a paid ad. By above the fold, that means everything you see without scrolling down. So on the left, on the right, the top, everything is going to be a paid ad. And so you have to hunt down the page even further than we've had to do before, which, when you search on the phone, it's like, come on, there it is. Okay? Right. But now actually their own page is going to be strictly paid advertising above the fold. This is the antithesis of what a search engine is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be a search engine that returns you with our paid advertisers. It's supposed to be a search engine that gives you what it is you want to find in an unbiased, unfiltered fashion. And they have gone full bore evil against that.
Right.
Now, the problem is, and this is what ties into the article that you just brought up, and that is that there are a lot of companies out there that have been selling their services and their software, their SaaS models, as a way of gaming yourself up into the rankings, getting on page 1 of Google, making sure you're found. You're looking at, attorneys' offices and, who they pay huge amounts. I mean, you get a click-through for an attorney. Do you know what Google charges you for a click-through?
Depending on the word?
No, I mean for an attorney. Let's just say...
the word attorney?
Well...
It's probably $25 a click, if not more.
$400 to $500.
Holy crap.
Wow.
That is what they charge for a click-through, as a PI attorney in your area. And so that's what these attorneys are accustomed to paying
So
for
if
a click-through.
If I want to bankrupt an attorney, I just go click on their ads all day long.
That would definitely have an effect.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
I didn't say that out loud. Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean
no,
that to
but
come out. But
those are things that are a huge problem. And of course, they will also notice that they're all coming from the same
IP
address. Okay, so what you got to do is create something that masks and runs around. But not that we're advocating anybody do that to an attorney that ripped you off. But thank you. I've got one in mind right now. So because they are making it so hard to legitimately compete, two things are coming out of it. Just like we've been talking about how YouTube, who's also owned by Google, what a surprise, is also facing competition from news sources. Yep. From Rumble, from Wistia, from Vimeo, all these other places are like, hey, you don't need to deal with that. You can come over here. And I will tell you what, I am making jack on videos on Rumble right now. Okay, it's crazy. This is just some stuff I edited on my iPhone and uploaded, and I'm making money on it, just like in the good old days of YouTube.
So you're telling me that WeBeam TV needs to start just for ha-has?
We're going to, yeah.
No, we're going to. See how much I know. I don't know anything anymore.
We're going to create a channel over there, okay? Yes. And we're going to figure out what we can do with it. But, the fact of the matter is,
Can you stream to it?
I don't know. I'll have to check. I don't think so. Their tech is pretty kind of low-key right now.
Got it.
But what they're doing is they're doing low-key solid.
Okay.
So that it's absolutely reliable.
Yeah.
And
speaking of solid, okay, so Bunny Trail. The other day,
Bunny Trail.
I was like, the guy goes, "Dude, everybody's using Streamlabs and blah blah blah. They don't need you anymore." I said, "No." I said, "Everybody can use all that crap all they want to. Mm-hmm. We just do it the right way."
Yeah, exactly.
I said, if you want to look like hokey and pokey dokey and be like everybody else, you go use Streamlabs all you want.
Dang straight.
And the new Facebook started up. Now you can stream live from your actual laptop to Facebook. You couldn't before.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, go ahead.
John,
yes.
Let me give you how you're supposed to go about this.
Oh, see, I'm not politically correct. Everybody knows this.
No, John, this is going to be politically correct, and it's going to be that 1-2 punch that's going to get you locked in. You ready for it? Every business has QuickBooks. Not every business knows how to use it, can set it up, and they always end up hiring a CPA or somebody
anyway.
to set it all up for them. I guarantee the first thing they do, they get into business, they run out, buy QuickBooks, they install it, and they stare at it.
Yep.
And they have yet to set up their company file, and then they end up calling somebody who's QuickBooks certified, who
Right.
knows how to use the software, knows how to get around the
And becomes their
program.
new employee.
And then next thing you know, they're
Yeah,
paying
we
you.
had a show that left us. And they started using Streamlabs, and they're even using the crap version because it's watermarked Streamlabs.
Oh my God.
And then they called me and goes, hey, how do I said, I ain't helping you.
How do you get that watermark off?
yeah.
I said, how dare you call me? I said, but you know what? Call me when you're tired of looking like schmo. And I'm good with that. So they'll
Yeah.
never call back. But anyway, so
No, not after that comment.
okay, so
But that's okay.
Despite that, I'm looking at some of the quotes from this guy, about the ad tech. It goes, despite the extent of surveillance tech, which a lot of people
Yep.
use, those are the guys that call you and go, or that you get go, we can put you on Google guaranteed, blah 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 blah, because they have that surveillance tech to go in there and figure out what everybody's looking for.
Right.
A lot of the data that fuels that targeting software is garbage now.
Yep.
Google is tired of people making money off of them, I think.
I think, and that's kind of a shame, because Google was making a lot of money off of these people,
And now they're gonna
who were
make
making.
more.
I mean, Google doesn't produce a product.
No.
All they do is charge you to look at other people's stuff that they produce.
Right.
Okay, and it's kind of a disgusting business model, but it's not much different from Facebook. Okay, hey, all you guys out there, go make all your content, okay, and we'll put it up for free. And here's what happens, and I've been saying this for years. If you are using and counting on, say, Facebook to be your repository for your information and your articles. Let's say you want to get out there and you write a 700. This is what Facebook wants you to do, by the way.
Yeah.
They don't want you to put in a link that makes you click off site. They'll throttle your response if you do that, unless you pay. But then the fact is, what happens is Facebook loves it because you write an article on, I was talking about with client this morning, and that is, you write an article about, the importance of installing solar panels properly in, West Central Florida. So you're very clear who you're talking to and everything else. And so you put that out there, and you know what's going to be all around your little article that you created?
Solar ads.
Ads from your competitors,
Yeah.
who didn't have to do anything at all, and they're just paying to get the eyeballs that you are paying to distribute to. Think about that for a minute. You are trying to get people to come to your page to read this, so you boost your post, and all it ends up doing is bringing people back to your page where Facebook has sold other ads on their page.
Yep.
No, the only way to control that is to take them off site and pay for it, because you're buying advertising. Get over it. That's what you're going to do, because the free stuff, man, does your competitors love it when you do that.
They're spending less money because of you.
Because of you. You're creating the content. And that's all any of these guys have done. And most of this stuff, I mean, they've gotten so good at creating junk content.
Right.
And you look at those Google, results at the beginning, and they're god awful.
Yep.
I mean, you put in, I have ankle pain, okay, and you see an ad that says buy your ankle pain for less. It's like, what?
You mean I could have
mean,
paid for this whole time?
Damn it, Bobby.
how much did this cost me before? I could get it for less now.
Okay, so
Yeah, so
I
garbage.
Think, so Google by Google redesigning that front page is going to kill SEO. And I didn't think people were using SEO anymore anyway.
And here's the deal: when we develop a marketing platform for someone, formerly known as website, when we develop a marketing platform, the organic SRO, search result optimization,
Yep.
is embedded right into it. It is part of the program. It is what you do, and it is going through the regular daily activities of managing your platform, your website, that will rank you well in search engines. And that's it. It's called organic SEO or SRO, and that's what we shoot for, because that's what the algorithm is supposed to be returning. The only thing we can't do is buy our way now into the top of the page.
Right.
And so, but we're going to, just by doing what you're supposed to be doing, you will move straight to the front. I mean, the best we ever did was move somebody up. I think it took us 8 days, and we got them on page 1. Just with regular organic content creation.
Right.
It was a very special situation, but it was right there. It was low-hanging fruit. And they were completely missing it, and apparently so were all their competitors. But the worst part was when you did a search for them and what it was that their particular product was, all their competitors were coming up before them, even though their competitors didn't offer the product. Yeah, so we had to tweak that stuff. We had to make that work, and we did. But that's great. But the fact is, if you're counting on SEO to drive your business, the prices are going to go insane because now Google has told everybody they must go bid. So they've told everybody that they have to be in the auctions that you've been in, paying $400 a click. Get ready, it's going to go to $600.
Yeah.
Right.
$700 a click. They're going to price themselves out of the market because they're forcing everybody to go in and buy ads. And it's an auction. There's only so many visual pixels on a page that you can put an ad in. And so they're going to drive up their own prices for their ad revenue. The rest of us, however, for years now, have been working on Web 2.0.
Right.
And, Web 1.0, we've got an article up on this. Web 1.0 is where you went out to Google, and, a search engine was originally designed to deliver search results originally between universities who had academic work and publications and so on that they wanted to have up and published, but how did you find it? If you're at Oxford and you want to find out what they're doing at Yale,
Right.
Okay, you have to call someone and ask them for the link.
So we jumped to Asset 005 for Rob back in the back because we jumped all over the place, and I want to let him know.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So thank you. So so what happened was you were out there trying to make sure that your academic paper got found. Well, that went from academic papers to products and services.
Right.
And these were the great heydays where, anybody with an offer or whatever could be out there and selling, courses, how to get rich quick, how to sell real estate, everything, $10,000 price tags. And all you had to do was sell 10 a year and you could live high off the hog, whatever. Okay, it was just craziness. And so, but it was always about shouting at the audience because everybody used Google.
Yeah.
For everything. Because it was the only way to do anything on the internet was to go to Google and find it. And Google also pads their numbers very, very effectively. They say, look, we do 7 billion searches. Actually what it is, they trained people to type the URL, the actual URL. So I want to go to, avisrentacar.com. People are typing avisrentacar.com into the Google search box.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it comes up, and they click then on the first one that comes up. Well,
Right.
duh. Which frequently is a paid ad. Mm-hmm. So Avis is now paying to have someone click on the link they already knew and were already going to, and Google provided no service at all to these people except for to bill them to deliver, their customer right to their website, which is crap. Go ahead.
And real quick, this is the exact reason why the tech support scams were coming out, because somebody'd buy a new printer and they would go to Google and they would type in, HP tech support.
Right.
And then, of course, it would show up at the top in the paid ad, and it was, a company from out of the country come in, and they would contact them, and they would say all this stuff and let the people in, and next thing you know,
Welcome to the Wild West of Google.
Exactly. And then what Google decided to do is say, okay, well, anybody in the IT industry or the tech world would have to no longer be allowed to run an ad.
Right.
So we would have to try to figure out
Which
how
is crazy.
So it would just stop it. That was their
That was
their way
a
of
great
fixing it.
solution.
Yeah, that just worked great.
which is crazy. Okay, I mean, and so I can't tell you, man. We have built dev sites for people, and I give them the URL of the dev site and say nothing's coming up.
Because
It says not
in the
found.
search box.
Google says it's not found. Well, why are you asking Google? Ask
Google
Safari.
doesn't know.
Ask Chrome. Don't ask Internet Explorer.
I have taught more clients. I'm like, okay, if you know what the URL is, go to the URL box and put it in there. Don't go to Google
Yep.
and type in the URL box. We're like, well, it finds it for me. No, it actually doesn't.
No, it doesn't. It actually puts ads in front of you so that it makes money.
Right, and then you're clicking on stuff that's costing people money
Yeah.
that you really shouldn't do.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, literally, if you're looking for your local insurance agent and you know it's, TampaInsurance.com, okay, you don't click on his ad because he just paid $25. And this guy's your friend? You went to school with him, and hey, by the way, did you a favor?
Yeah.
No. Okay.
That's the problem with 99% of the computer users today. They don't understand.
No.
And that's the ignorance is what Google and everybody else plays on.
Exactly. And, Google's like, oh, we're doing you such a favor. But, so what we're going to see,
friend.
back to the story at hand, we're going to see the rise of other, Bing, Yahoo, and DuckDuckGo. We're going to watch those three start to climb, just like we have seen, Rumble and so on. Their numbers are growing regularly. But what we do is we say, forget about it. Okay, stop trying to shout into the void. That's a waste of time. People buy most often because of a relationship. They got a referral. They've heard of you, whatever it is. Okay, they've been in. They talked to you before. They saw you at a trade show. They buy because of a relationship, and that is when Web 2.0 shot ahead of Web 1.0. Web 2.0 utilizes social media. And utilizing, and in its original phrase, we're about to come up to Web 2.1, okay? But Web 2.0 is where you go out to social media and you say, hi, I'm here. Anybody who's interested in talking about installing their pool in Tampa Bay, Florida, I can give you some tips and advice right now, so let's talk. You're starting the relationship.
Right.
And that's the key. And that's where it turned around, because now, using those metrics that are getting a little bit fuzzy, but not so much in social media, you can go out and you can be that person that advertises to those people that are interested in getting a pool.
Right.
And so you can go out and go, hey, you know what? Here's some free information on how to prep your site for a pool. And, here's some stuff to, mistakes not to make when you're, asking a contractor about building a pool. And you can begin to build the relationship that way. John's doing it right here, where he's talking about, mistakes people make in trying to film their own program using crappy software that gives you lots of up-the-nose shots like this, okay? And you're just thinking everything's cool, and it absolutely isn't. It's incredibly unprofessional. So when you build that relationship, they are then like 9 times more likely to become your customer instead of somebody else's. And that's the key to Web 2.0. But having a way to do that in a coherent, organized fashion where you're regularly reaching out is where the proper content marketing comes in.
Right.
And it brings up the 2.1, because you really can't have a 3.0, okay, on this. Because 1.0 means you're shouting at them, and 2.0 means they're shouting at you, and that's it. Okay, there's only 2 ways you can communicate, and so there will never be a Web 3.0. But 2.1
of the web world.
VR, AR.
Still the
Web
same
3.0.
thing. You're either in front of somebody's eyes or you're doing the talking. But 2.1 is where we're now getting into,
Right.
whereby we're building communities, but we're not relying on Facebook to host that community. We're now starting to build them within people's online marketing platforms themselves that they own, and so nobody can take that stuff away from you. So when someone comes in and signs up for an appointment, you own their information. Some third-party service doesn't take it. When someone comes to your website and clicks on anything,
So with all this being changed, and I don't mean to cut you off.
Cut me off. We've been going on too long.
Now you've got me asking questions. Okay, so with this being changed like this, are they going to be? Will Google still put all the bots and crap out there to start crawling your website still, or they're just going to rely on everybody paying to be on there?
Well, I think they have to continue to do that, because that is their supposed product. And if they start, why don't people use Yahoo or Bing right now? because the results aren't as good, especially for any kind of academic research or anything like that. It's tough to get decent results from, especially DuckDuckGo.
Right.
Okay. I mean, go load into DuckDuckGo and you see some weird crap. Okay. stuff you have never seen before on any other search engine.
Right.
Okay. It's there. And so if Google falls back to those levels, then they are inviting the competition to eat their lunch. And their numbers are going to drop. And when their numbers drop, what happens to their revenue?
They drop.
Because they're charging for eyeballs.
Yep.
They've got to keep those eyeballs up. So they have to keep the quality of their product high. But because they have this ignorant band of users who are still typing addresses into the freaking search bar, okay, these people won't realize they're looking at paid ads.
Right.
They're thinking they're still looking at an organic Google search. Because how can everything on the screen be paid? And
That's
it is.
true. It is.
Okay, and they will just assume that these over here, oh, well, it's probably real, but they also buy ads. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on that because I think that's what I really want. And then who do they end up with? They end up with, the tech company in Bangladesh. And you got it right now. You got somebody that is like over jumping your computer store here in Pasco County. Some stupid long, Pasco County repair of computers, .net, but they're jumping you with a paid ad right over the top. And because they've used that, same kind of software that is giving me, pay less for ankle pain. It's saying, looking for AMS computers, click here. And it says Pasco Computers, so that's probably the same thing. Bam! Okay, people need to not trust Google results.
Especially
period.
It's not like Google doesn't put up their ad.
No, in the very tiny little blue box in the corner, that one?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you can just see it, assuming you're not, visually impaired in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
Yeah.
So this next story was going to jump right into the very thing we're talking about. So Google and Facebook hate the proposed privacy laws. New publishers should embrace it.
Yes. They are stealing so much information from these publishers and making money on it. Because, they're the place you go. Gee, I want to find out what happened with Trump's motorcade, going around Walter Reed Hospital. So you go to Google, who then jams in all the ads.
Right.
And then sells you the snippet, which is part of the result. And you may never actually click through to go to the site, which may have a paywall, it may not. But you're never going to go to the site so that the actual author makes anything. But Google made money.
Right.
So, and then worse, Google tags you as the kind of person who looks for that stuff. So that now anything to do with motorcade, just to pick a stupid example, is now going to show up in your feed because they know that you're the kind of person that likes motorcades, just like you like to buy ankle pain. It's crazy stuff, but that's how it works. So now these new privacy laws are going to say, no, really, you can't do that anymore.
Right.
Leave us alone. And when that happens, they're like, whoa, wait a minute. That's how we deliver quality content to you. No, that's how you make money charging for free content. Dirtbags. Mm-hmm. They are the reason so many professions are out of business right now. Try to be a photographer in this world, and you are up against, all these sites that have free photos. And you've got people who actually go out to Google. They don't even look for a free photo. They'll grab a licensed one and throw it on their Facebook ad or throw it in their article on their website. And it's like, what? No. It's one thing to go and find an aggregator that you can join and download your photos and pay $5, $10. Pay the damned artist. And we won't even talk about books.
Yep. So here's this. I know I had stopped you there. So here's what's going on. So California, right, is actually going to help set the precedence across the United States.
Possibly.
Right? Because it's called Proposition 24, or CPRA. It's also known as the California Privacy Rights and Enforcement Act of 2020. Is supposed to expand a landmark Californian privacy law that passed 2 years ago, right? there's a good chance California will approve this one too. It's framed as legislation that will better protect their privacy, in particular sensitivity data such as social security numbers, race, religion, and health information. And while the proposed law technically governs the U.S. in sale of data for Californians, California has enormous impact on the tech industry. So what goes in California for this world will follow suit all the way across the U.S.
I mean, look at who, where they're headquartered.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
and
there's
so
Silicon Valley.
Yeah. And so Silicon Valley is about to be regulated.
And that's why Google and Facebook are hating it, because they're going to pull back some of that private
They're going to have to move to
information.
Texas.
Well, I'll be damned.
And let's see that happen.
Big Sky, Texas. Big Sky. You can do big crimes. No, I'm just kidding. But it's one of those things where sometimes you want to make fun of the people out in California, but as odd thinking as they are, their privacy has become a big deal.
Yeah.
So, of course, if everybody leaves California because of all the burning, there's no one to vote. So he may not get passed. You never know.
There's the thought.
There's a thought.
They drove Elon Musk out.
They did.
Okay. He went and he opened up a new plant in Texas. He said, "Congratulations, my new corporate headquarters. Have a nice day. Get away."
Right.
And so you're going to see more follow, because as long as there's some place that has lower taxes or less regulation, business is going to flock there.
I hope they pass.
Why do you think the West, in America, it's like, woohoo, it's wide open. Let's just go get some stuff.
Right.
Is really what it boiled down to. And, wherever it can happen, it will happen. And that's why there's this massive migration from California to a lot of other states. And they're taking their tech companies and they're leaving.
Yeah. Well, and here's the funny thing.
Oh, I love this story.
The population of California is primarily on the coast anyway. Once you get about 100 miles inland, there's it's desert and mountains. No one's there.
Right.
So unless you're skiing, of course.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to jump this next one. Apple is suing the recycling firm for $23 million. That's right.
Isn't much.
$23 million. Claiming it resold iPhones, iPads, and Apple Watches instead of breaking them down.
Yep.
Yeah. That's funny, because all these devices, they're tracked by their serial numbers. So once they get back on the internet, of course there's going to be a database of all the devices that were handed into Apple that they turned over to a third-party recycler.
Right.
So once those devices, first off, once they audited some of their paperwork and found out that they were missing, tons of
$23 million worth.
Did they not realize they would get caught?
And they're sitting there saying, well, it was a couple of employees.
No. If you sold enough to get on Apple's radar,
right?
It's more than a couple employees.
Supposedly those two employees were like the upper management.
Yeah, they're like the president and vice president.
Right.
But just so people understand, this company was contracted to destroy these devices so that they wouldn't be back on the market. And if somebody wanted to buy an Apple, they had to buy a new one.
Well,
and so that's basically the format, is they're trying to clear out marketplace clutter so that they can sell more new phones. So they give them to these people to dismantle them, and these people are instead doing exactly what they were not supposed to be doing, and they're putting them back out in the market, so Apple's selling fewer phones.
Right.
But they're paying someone to do this for them, and they're also selling these phones, so they're double dipping.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? It's funny, too, is because it works both ways. Apple not only takes and destroys the devices, but they also recycling out the screws and hardware and stuff.
As much as they can.
So they can reuse it in the building of the new phones. It just makes sense.
Yeah.
And, they can only do so much by themselves in-house. So, of course, here we go again. Now you have a third party who screwed the pooch on something, and Apple's going to say, you know what, we're going to do this ourselves, and this is what's going to happen. You know, and this is just like with Intel messed up their chips.
When you got $1 billion in cash sitting in the bank, you go, oh, I'm sorry, that lucrative contract wasn't good enough for you. I'll just do this myself. Have a nice day.
Wasn't the name of their they had a recycling device called, I believe the name was Alice, is the one that takes apart all the iPads and iPhones. They just have to, they program it for each device, and it literally dismantles it properly and safely,
Right.
and separates all the screws and everything out in different orders, so that way they can reuse
It's
the
basically
devices.
the reverse of the assembly robot.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
a
it just
disassembly
reverses all the
robot.
functions. It knows where everything is. It's not like those screws moved.
Yep.
You know, it knows exactly where they are, and it goes in and just
So
disassembles.
if
the
you were a
device.
third-party recycler that were betting on recycling Apple products, you might want to hold off on that and decide to go with somebody else.
Yeah.
Yep. So I want to show a picture real quick. We're going to number 8, Rob. So this is the difference of old technology versus new technology. Go ahead and show that bad boy. It's number 8. So
Yeah.
to picture the top was 5 megs hard drive, disk drive in 1956, and then the bottom one
And
is
it's
the
a
terabyte.
bookcase. Yeah, I mean, you can't even get.
Holy crap!
I found 128
Yeah.
meg that I had sitting around.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, you know, and so just being able to show that compared to that, but now when you talk about a terabyte,
Just the-
okay, that's like 2,000 times, or no, I don't even know. Okay, it's just insane how much bigger that is, and it fits in your phone.
In your phone.
Yeah,
In
you
your
can
camera.
carry it with you.
And believe it
Yeah.
or not, the smaller it gets, the harder the data recovery on these devices get.
Imagine.
I can
Yes.
imagine
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And
so
we'll talk.
Well,
about
one
day,
one
I'll show
tiny
you some-
scratch takes out like 500 meg.
that's painful.
Yep.
Oh, that makes my chest hurt. Oh, God have mercy. So this next one we're going to talk to, I just want to show that. I just wanted to.
Yeah,
I thought
that's cool. I like
thought
that.
that was fun. It was
Yep.
kind of interesting, right? So Elon Musk. Elon said he's going to personally inspect SpaceX
Yep.
launch pad sites after 2 rockets have failed to launch.
Yeah, one like 2 seconds before liftoff.
Did
The
he-
other
did
one,
he not-
18 seconds before liftoff.
Right. Did he not ever watch failure to launch?
You know,
That was just that was just funny. Sorry.
it's not like he doesn't have enough stuff on his plate to have to deal with.
Yeah, but I mean,
True.
having to run out here and go, hang on, what is going on here? Because this doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Okay, and I can't afford this. And it's nice to see him show up.
It is.
I'm sorry, he's super hands on with everything.
He is. Poor guy. I mean, he's got to do it, but I mean,
Yeah.
geez.
But it's how he works, and I love it. I love seeing him do it.
Well,
I'm sorry he has to do it.
Right.
Because it's probably not his own product that's at fault.
Correct.
It's probably an interface somewhere.
Right.
Because I mean, one of the errors was getting back non-native data or something.
Right. But he's got on the lineup next year 48 launches next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can't.
So he can't afford a
No.
$10 million.
No, he's got one a week going up.
snafu,
Yeah.
because of some piece of an interface that's not working
Yeah.
correctly.
They're doing everything fine, and he needs to go out there and absolutely button down, and nobody's going to. I mean, he's going to be getting the straightest answers possible.
Yeah, there won't be. Well, we'll put a committee together. He goes, oh hell, you won't. You'll go out there and fix that shit.
We'll
Yeah,
have it.
I'm just
exactly.
saying right now.
We'll have it fixed next week when we reprogram that software dongle.
There we go.
Yeah, I don't. Not that it would be funny, but something that big is
Yeah.
costing him $9 million.
Sorry, we put apprentices in the wrong spot in coding.
Crap.
My bad.
But that's exactly what it is. I mean,
Yeah.
I've got a client who was out in the working on stuff, and the data that was coming in was coming in corrupted, and he sat there and actually the CEO of the company actually sat down, opened a laptop, and started writing the code to fix it during the big government test.
Yeah.
And he's like, he flew out just for that. And he sat there and he rewrote the code, and they were able to go forward with the test right there on the spot.
That's awesome.
I told you it would work.
Yep.
I know what I'm talking about. So, were you going to buy one of the new Xboxes?
I can't say that.
Were you going to buy one of the new Xboxes?
What's an Xbox?
Yeah, okay. So the Xbox Series
course I am.
10 or X pre-orders are being delayed.
What?
They got issues.
No.
I know, right?
Imagine,
Can you imagine?
tech being
Well,
delayed
are they-
in the age of
Are there
COVID.
issues with the getting product, or is it to build it, or is it hardware issues?
Is it
It's
parts
the
or is it
UK
software?
It's the UK retailer.
Oh, well, that's okay. As long as we're
What it
good
was
here.
is Shop 2 has begun to inform customers that it will not be able to fulfill every Xbox Series X pre-order at launch.
They probably overstepped.
And
it.
I think that's
Christmas time.
Yeah, exactly,
Anthony.
right?
Yeah.
So I think they're trying to figure out whether or not once they say go,
Yep.
how do I get it out correctly
Yeah.
with COVID, following the COVID laws.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the tough thing. I mean, I've seen that crop up in so many things.
That's not a good article
from medicine to hard drives and
Oh yeah. Power supplies were a big one in a couple months ago.
Yep.
Yep.
It was horrible.
Yep.
I mean, it's just like the stupidest thing in a computer build, and you
Well, I
couldn't
know
get
there's
it.
a lot of people that are really upset because they had their heart on, they wanted one before
Well,
Christmas.
they had their $1,200 and they wanted to go build their computers, and they couldn't.
So they bought an Xbox.
Go get an Xbox, right? Yeah.
That doesn't arrive
No, we
either.
can't get it.
I don't know. So this we were running out of time, so I'm trying to gloss through these real quick. Ben, let us know how fast the iPhone 12 will be. Did you get a chance to read this? I put this in there for you.
I see the iPhone. Yeah, the iPhone 12, the new A14 chip is supposed to be considerably faster than the A13 that's in the iPhone 11s right now.
Right, but the A14 Bionic
Oh.
is going to get a proper introduction now.
Oh yes, bionically.
Bionic. The Bionic.
It just means that it has an algorithm in the chipset that can
Augment
process-
performance.
Yeah, augment performance. I am performing faster.
Because I say so.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Thanks.
Well, the bench score is single core is 1,583 nanoflops.
Mhm.
And then with the multi-core score, it's 4,198.
Almost 4,200. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that
Oh my
sounds really
God.
fast. I mean, yeah, and for the layman out there, that's just like, oh my God, fast.
Yeah,
okay,
that's probably you'll
that's
see
the
you'll see
technical
that
phrase
chip in
for
the
it.
new MacBook Pro soon.
You betcha. See, I've said that from the get-go. I'm like, all they're trying to do is they're going to try to figure out how to make the MacBook faster.
I think that's why they wanted to get that chip ready for more than just the iPhone. And I think that's why they kind of held off.
Yeah.
They want to introduce the chip, the new iPhone, and then they want to say, well, we're going to do this across the world
So-
of Apple.
On a tangent, do you think Moore's law still applies to technology? Because I've heard people argue with it. But then we see stuff like this, and it's like,
Five nanometer.
still
this is-
happening.
It just keeps going and going and going. I mean, it's going to be a speck of dust.
yeah. I mean,
Yes, we do have a chip on there, sir. Yes. No, we do not sue us. Yes, there are no thermal
there.
issues anymore.
That's
It's
not
really
dirt.
there.
Stop trying to clean it. But it looks like a piece of dust. Yeah, don't touch that.
Yeah,
Leave it alone.
no,
What's
you did
wrong
not.
with
You did not get potato chip crumbs in there. I promise.
Nope.
You open it up, your phone will be all battery
Yes.
and a screen, and they'll
Exactly.
be like, "Where's the logic board?" Sorry, sir, it's integrated into the battery now.
Yeah, it is the battery. All right, so
That
jumping
might
quick.
get hot. I don't like that idea. It's
Ooh,
integrated into the
yeah.
screen instead.
Oh, there you
Of course,
go.
the screen gets hot too.
Yeah.
They
yeah.
do, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Leave it in the sun. Forget about it. Thermal.
I left my phone on the other day, and I don't know how come it didn't go into sleep mode, and it was burning my ass
Yeah.
Yeah.
because it was facing. I'm
Right.
like, why
Yeah,
is
when
my
your pocket-
butt-
when it's like-
why is my butt on fire? And I pulled out my freaking. I'm like, well, Jesus Lord.
Well, because you had that side in,
Yeah,
it's doing the rubbing, and that's what keeps the window open, and then
Yeah.
it's not friction.
What have I been? Anyway, so Apple TV now plays YouTube videos in 4K with limits, of course.
Right, like you can't see it in 4K anyway.
Yeah.
Just because your eyes don't see in 4K.
See now,
Up.
because we started off with video.
Yes.
Oh boy.
This is where the depth of color comes important.
Right.
Because when you're shooting 4K and you're shooting on prime lenses and you're shooting with depth, you get these beautiful, rich colors.
Right.
So when you take 4K and you dumb it down to 1080, it's going to look better because it's got depth of color.
Yes.
So,
yes. It will be better when you dumb it down, but the fact is you still have to dumb it
Right.
down.
And
And in order to really appreciate the quality of 4K, you need to be watching it in IMAX.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
And best story I've had IMAX was when they re-released Beauty and the Beast,
Yes.
the animated, in IMAX, and it was amazing until you looked away from the center and you saw like characters in the background during that first song scene. You know, there's something, you know, whatever it is. Okay, and all they are is ovals with smiley faces on them. It's like, oh my God! But unless you're on an IMAX screen, you're not going to see. But now that oval is this big, so you can see it's just two lines and a smiley. And that's what the background characters
so
were.
I'm gonna pull out a Waterboy reference because I didn't hold anything back.
There's that. Yes. You can do it.
You're seeing everything, right? It's just we went to Rob and I went over to Infocom a couple years ago, and we're walking in, and they've got these screens that are like 50 feet tall, 100 feet wide. I mean, they're just massive, right?
Right.
And they're 4K, and you're like. You just drool. You go,
it's not pixelated. Isn't that cool?
Wow. It's because it was shot for that format.
Next, when you get the 360 view, then you see the artist standing in the background, taking his pieces of paper and shoving it in front of the camera. That's what they've been doing this whole time.
Exactly. But so anyway, the Apple TV is being. I guess YouTube is really the only place that has a lot of 4K. I don't know. I didn't know very many platforms that are true 4K. Even Amazon, even though they tell you they want it shot in 4K, has to get dumbed down,
of course,
for your television.
Right.
So you're not watching it in true 4K.
Yep.
Yeah.
Unless you have an 8K television.
It just makes your internet lag. It just makes your internet lag longer. That's all.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, if you've ever tried to edit anything shot in 4K, go ahead and pull yourself in a 20-second segment and watch everything stop.
Well,
I mean, yeah.
We edit. We do a lot of. We build custom intros and stuff like that, and we use the 4K side.
Yeah.
And then we dumb it down to 1080.
Right.
So, but yeah, man, editing that stuff is horrible. So anyway, with that being said, we've got about 27 seconds left. We didn't get to all of our notes, but we got pretty close. Make sure you support the WeBeam TV. We actually have the Tech Shamans at WeBeamTV.com. Send us a message. We're actually starting a Discord channel for Tech Shamans. So that way, if you got information or you want to follow our stories, they'll be all on there. Go to Bonfire, support WeBeam TV, buy some swag. We'd appreciate it.
Swag.
Everybody, you guys, we know you have a lot to watch. You can watch us anyway. We love you guys. We'll see you guys next Monday.
Take care.
Have a good day.
We got the plans 'cause we are the Tech Shamans. We understand 'cause we are the Tech Shamans. Dude, I got this cool thing to show you. Really, man? Yeah, it's far out and technical and stuff. Awesome. Yeah. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Cool.